California State Assemblyman Tom Lackey spoke emotionally at today's sentencing.
On behalf of our community, we are all outraged, but wish to transform the energy of that outrage into love and support for the family and friends who are left behind to mourn the loss of our beloved, innocent Noah.
In 2019, Lackey proposed the so-called Gabriel's Law, named for Gabriel Fernández, the 8-year-old killed after suffering repeated child abuse. But that law has not yet passed despite multiple attempts to do so. Tom Lackey represents Palmdale in the State Assembly. He's live with us now with more. Thanks so much for being with us. What are your thoughts on what transpired today and why it was so important for you to physically be there in that courtroom?
Travesty of justice and a breakdown in many ways. Very, very tragic what's happened. It's even hard to even imagine the level of tragedy that has taken place. And this is not the first event. This is basically the third time in just over 10 years where we've seen this kind of tragedy, where we've had known abusers end up killing family members. And it's this is one of the more extreme because little Noah was not even 4 years old when this happened, where the family broke his ribs. He suffered blunt trauma and even sexual assault from his own father. That's unimaginable. And our system needs to be more cooperative in protecting these children. They're the most valuable commodity in a society, and we're failing them.
Real succinctly, can you explain what Gabriel's Law would do?
Well, what Gabriel's Law was designed to do was increase communication and enhance the enforcement of suspected abuse and to follow up. And that's where our failures are taking place. DCFS is probably an overburdened set of circumstances, and they have a very, very difficult job. But yet we have a lot of areas where we can improve upon, and that's what Gabriel's Law tries to address, those flaws. And unfortunately, what we have are people that are more concerned about protecting Noah's father than Noah.
Well, it's something called the California State Child Death Review Council, essentially. This would fund a group to look into things like this and try to fix the system, essentially. And the issue is over whether we should give that money or not. What is the pushback to that?
Well, that was our fourth iteration of Gabriel's Law, by the way. And so that's the most recent one. We've been trying to work with the system to try to improve it. And it's hard to imagine how in a budget surplus year that this didn't rise to the level of support. I got no real good explanation other than it was dead.
And then another aspect that we heard today, that Noah's killers, his parents, could be eligible for parole at the age of 50. How does that happen? I mean, this is the most vile crime you can imagine.
Well, you have a group of legislators up here that are concerned about the rights of perverts, pedophiles, and killers. And it's hard to imagine how quick they are to forget the fact that their victims, many of them, they'll never be free. They're gone. And victims have become ghosts in our system, Alex. It's a fact. And many of us here in the legislature are trying to buck that trend. And I think that the mood is actually improving, but we've got a long way to go. And I'm hoping that those who are listening to this review right now, that they will become active and they will let their legislators know that they don't support victims becoming ghosts.
And real quickly, I know you've become close with Noah's family. What did you say to them today?
I just offered my support and let them know that I'm going to continue to fight so that we don't have any more Noahs, any more Gabriels. It's time that we bring an end to this kind of travesty, because it's unconscionable what's happening. And a lot of times we're even alerted to these facts, and yet we turn a deaf ear. That's not okay. We've got to figure this out.
It's hard to think of anybody more vulnerable in our society than young Noah Cuatro, and it is so sad to hear what happened to him. Thank you so much, Assemblyman, for joining us tonight for this important conversation.
Thank you for paying attention.